Welcome to the Happy You Are Here podcast. In this show, we talk about tools, techniques, and ideas that help us live more fulfilling lives based on self-improvement, mindfulness, and compassion. In this episode, we have Jeff J. Cunningham, who is also known online as Jeff the Entrepreneur. And if you don't know how to spell entrepreneur like I don't, I always mess it up. The links will be down in the show notes below, as well as some other links to Jeff's content. He makes some really great, inspiring stuff on a couple different platforms. On YouTube, he's on Instagram, you're probably on TikTok now too. But anyway, I would like Jeff for you to introduce yourself and we can get things going.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Craig. I'm happy to be here on the Happy You Are podcast. I remember when we first connected, so actually this is one of the ones that I'm actually really excited about doing, so I'm glad we could do it here today. But yeah, I'm basically an entrepreneur. I found my passion and purpose, and I'm in the quest, I kind of say it to be punchy. It used to be to make $77 million and then build the biggest coffee shop music studio ever called Kokomo J's. That was like the quest, and everybody's going to watch it.
Yeah.
And now it's really to inspire 77 million people, and anybody around me is going to make a lot more money going towards that. So that's a little bit in a short thing of my mission.
Absolutely, dude. And you do that. You inspire a lot of people, whether it's people that you're coaching. I'm sure like you get really in with them, but just through the content that you create, just from knowing you, I've been inspired to like really get after it and keep my energy up and kind of think about why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. If that is such a big part of, the way that you tell your story and everything. So, when things get tough, it's great to have people like you to turn on your Instagram stories and get some inspiration from.
Great. Yeah, that's great, dude. That warms my heart. Whenever I'm talking and I hear someone say, oh, we get inspired.
Yeah.
I made this for me. Inspire others always. And it's even on my phone here, right? Inspire others always, right? Because when I decided I was going to do this, I was always a little punchy and would say stuff kind of. And I thought, no, I need like a mission creed that I am by.
Yeah.
And whatever I do, that's going to be my purpose. I read a book that had it in it, and I figured that would be it. So whenever I get that, I get fulfilled by people saying that. So I appreciate that so much. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for doing what you do. So to start out, I think what would be really helpful for the listeners is to kind of tell people how you got into entrepreneurship in the first place, because I think a lot of people that listen to this show, a lot of it's about mental health. So people are dealing with anxiety and depression, maybe even drug issues or something. But like you have a very, I think, relatable story about how you got started and how you kind of moved your life in a really positive direction.
Yeah. So I'll tell it for those who don't know of me. And it's funny because I think in life, certain things happen that we don't realize when they happen, that you can actually find meaning out of. I think it's happened even before the story I'm about to tell.
Yeah.
Which maybe I'll backtrack. And it's funny when you're aware or you're around someone who makes it. I'm going to be sharing it on an Amazon Prime show at the end of the month. I'm actually going to be on sharing kind of similar to the same reason, but it translated in many different reasons. And what happened to me 3 years ago, I think it was, or 2 years ago, my older brother Jay, he married a Playboy model named Chantel. He actually didn't marry her. They got engaged. And actually, I've never told this on anybody. He tattooed her name on his hand, right? Because he wanted to marry her so much. They had two beautiful kids, Kate and Olivia. And my older brother's been through a lot. He's kind of like the prodigal son, but he's always very likable. And anyway, long story short, I moved up to Connecticut with me. And she, at the time, left him for a guy named Rick Gonzalez. And Jay had his own demons as well. He wasn't the perfect guy. She didn't leave him just for the money. Like, I don't want people to think that as I get more popular as she goes on there. But, I think a lot of it was sold like indecent proposal. Like she would kind of marry this guy, get money from the guy and then provide a family for their kids. And that was the way it was going to do. So anyway, so he had to live with a lot of that. Watch the kids grow up getting paid money to take care of them, and he was stressed out. And I used to talk to him over the phone all the time. Got him out of jail, prison, all this stuff that I'd never even share. But we wrote down a dream. He's like, Jeff, we got to build something because I'm going to get fired. He kind of he had his Series 7s, and then he got fired when he went and got it because of a criminal record back in the day. So me and him wrote down a dream, a coffee shop music studio on a napkin. We actually watched the Star Wars movie that night, and there's a part in the Star Trek movie, and he says, I dare you to do better. And we sketched it out, and I was like, Jay, let's dare each other to do better. I know I can do more. We wrote down the dream. 2 days later, I went to wake him up to get a haircut, and he passed away on drugs, fentanyl. And when he passed away, it was crazy because we got in a fight that night about my ex being a gold digger, and it was a whole thing. But I went to bed. This is, if anything, you don't listen to this thing, don't go to bed angry at people. I was upset. We had some words. I got out of bed, and I went and I shook his head. I said, Jay, I'm going to take you for a haircut tomorrow, okay? And he said, yeah, absolutely. He's like, can I take Dad to get the tux because my sister was getting married?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, absolutely. And at that moment right there, that's actually where I found entrepreneurship, because my dream became to build what me and him built. And through that, now this is everybody watching the journey, man, me doing it. Just like Howard Schultz, you know who Howard Schultz is?
I don't know.
So he owns Starbucks. You know Starbucks, right?
Okay, yeah, right.
So if Howard Schultz from Starbucks did what I was doing, people would know the journey of him before he bought Starbucks and made it into a thing. That's what I'm going to do, and the whole world's going to watch. So when I open the first one, people are going to be like, oh my God, we watched this kid go all the way through it.
Yeah.
And I've just learned so much. I've had multiple businesses since then. Now I'm a business consultant. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy what you can do in 3 years, and I've always done business. But yeah, so that's my why. That's exactly how I got into entrepreneurship. And without saying more, I wound up finding a Grant Cardone video. And you know of Grant Cardone, right?
Yeah. For the listeners that maybe don't, do you want to explain who he is? Or
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of be precise without going in, but to kind of conclude the story, I was teaching at a behavioral middle school, loved it.
Yeah.
Wasn't the most fulfilling job. Behavioral kids, and one of the kids, Michael, he wound up passing away just after that. It was one of the kids I was close with. So then I wound up going to therapy. Full disclosure, I was kind of hooking up with one of the head teacher girls, and HR pulled me in and said, if you talk to her, you're fired. I said, well, fire me now. I don't care if I live. And so then they put me in 4 therapy lessons, and I said, fine, you know what? I just have to go here and talk. I'll do this. So I talked probably as fast as I'm talking now, and the lady said, whoa, Jeff, you need ADD. You have OCD. Here's some medication. Get medicated. And I said, fine, great. Med me up. Let's go. And now I do want to say this. I do think medication, I'm not against medication like anybody says.
Sure.
I do think some people go to it too soon. I do think there's certain things that your body doesn't produce stuff that you need, okay, 100%, especially with anxiety and depression and everything. So I definitely can fully speak. For me being an entrepreneur, where my mind moves faster than my mouth and stuff, right, it would actually do me more harm than good. And so I learned that because I went home that day. I have a piece of paper in my hand. I go home to my dad, and I go, hey, Dad, I'm gonna go to sleep clinic, because I went to my doctor. He said, no, you're fine. You got through college. You're good. And so I said, I'm gonna go to sleep clinic, get some medication. But he says, Jeff, you've been through a lot. He gave me a book, Power of Subconscious Mind. And he said, hey, I found this video on YouTube. This is why I have a YouTube channel, Jeff J. Cunningham on YouTube, or Jeff the Entrepreneur on YouTube. And he goes, this guy Grant Cardone, he did a 5-thing on customer service. And I watched it. And Grant, anybody who doesn't know Grant Cardone, he's a little punchy. He was funny, right?
Yeah.
So I said, what's that guy's name? I look at the book, like just the shell of the man I am now, Craig. I go home that day, I lie in my bed, and I wind up praying, God, I don't care if I wake up. And at that moment, I searched the words on YouTube, Grant Cardone depression. And I watched him on a Young Hustlers video with a big flat brim hat talk about a threesome to, what else he talked about? He talked about a threesome on that episode. Do you ever see that episode or no?
I know, I have it.
Oh, it's great. I'll send it to you. It's actually really good. And he basically said, if Oprah did it, then you can do it. Like Oprah, black, raped, the whole thing, and now everybody knows Oprah. So he thought, don't make excuses, make reasons. And it was really amazing. It was one of that one spoke to me. I got up out of bed. I read the 10X Rule book. The first business I started, I think, was a photography business. So
I think it's interesting because a lot of people, maybe are a little skeptical about people online and getting inspired. They feel like, oh, I'm a fool if I get inspired by someone online. And I think that's such a, it's a way that I think our minds are trying to protect us from taking any risks, right? And I think the way that like you took your inspiration from Grant Cardone and you've run with that and just so completely committed to that, and then in turn you're inspiring other people that are able to take that, and it just like creates this wheel of progress for us all to follow behind. I think that's really incredible.
Yeah, it's cool because a lot of people maybe don't get, like, they won't listen to me to be inspired, but they'll hear you, right?
Sure.
Because you're more artistic than I am, right? So they'll connect more with you. People connect with different people. A lot of that comes from our body tries to protect ourselves. And then there's another part where it comes from our ego too, where we're just like, oh no, I don't want to learn. I can figure it out, right?
Right.
And everybody has an ego, right? Ego. We just did on the Growth Show with my brother Josh Lewis Growth about ego, and Josh was like, everybody's got one, right? And I think there's 2 parts of it. I think definitely try and protect yourself. That's one of it, right? But I think once you know you're trying to protect yourself, you have to know this is the best coaching moment here. Attack it, whatever it is. Find it out. Leap, jump, do whatever you need to do, and then you'll actually discover. As long as it's not fatal, man, then you'll learn a lot. And then you learn more by doing it than protecting yourself. You learn nothing. Like, I think Tony Robbins talks about looking at a box every day, staring at a box, driving a box, watching a box. People stay in this box. You got to get outside the box. You got to think outside the box.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where it comes from. No matter what you do, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to do it. You can do it in life. That's why I coach all sorts of people, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. There was this thing that I was listening to this neuroscientist on, I can't remember what podcast. Oh, it was Tom Bilyeu's The Impact Theory podcast.
Oh yeah, I love Tom.
Yeah, he was talking about, some trauma therapy where they help you move forward. They literally move you forward, or they make your eyes move side to side, because the only time that your eyes are looking side by side is when you're moving forward through space. And the reason that triggers like this, fight response instead of the fear response, which can be applied to like old traumas, but can also be applied to anxieties that are going on right now, is because that's your body and your mind going headfirst into the challenge, into whatever if something is attacking you, instead of running and running in fear, when you're moving forward, your eye is scanning side to side.
Yeah, I think I listened to that one. I don't listen to music. All I have on my ear, like when I was texting you after the whole thing with that millionaire guy that I was talking to right now.
Sure.
Then he went on and he even told me, just be curious and listen to stuff. So I'm curious on that. I think I probably heard that when I had it on at one time.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that stuff, dude. It's amazing. Like the mind is so powerful. Once you control this, you can control everything. And it's not even that you control it. It's once you feed it, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever you believe, then eventually, and it sounds so cliche, but you will receive, and it's that simple.
Well, oh yeah, I mean, we've had so many people on our podcast already that talk about that, right? So it's like it's not that far of a stretch.
So me, I'm not a mindset coach. So I'm a money coach. I mean, you want to make money now? We'll make money, and we'll figure out how to do that. Now there are parts where we need the mindset before that, and then I'll just send them to you or somebody else and my brother. But my thing is very transactional, But by transactional, you can be transformational. Like that's where you got to connect them both. That's kind of what I try and coach those type of people,
Oh, absolutely. And money's such an important part of whether we like to think it or not. Like money is an important part of earning our freedom.
Yeah. Why don't we like to think it? Like I don't get that. Eventually, it's going to be blockchain technology with everything going on in the world, man. They're going to be cashless society, all that stuff. Either way, man, it's just value. Like, how do you define value?
It's a representation of value.
That's all it is. You know what I mean? So whatever you value, like I bought Listerine. I don't have great teeth. It sucks. Neither does Grant Cardone. So I got to brush more. I like too many sweets. We've had it. I bought Listerine. I'm going out to buy Listerine and 2 energy drinks, which we'll talk about energy.
Yeah.
Don't even need them. Sugar-free, which is still bad for you. And so as I'm buying them, the Listerine was like $6, right? Because it was like protect something. And I'm walking out and I'm justifying it to myself, right? It's worth it. My teeth, who knows how long they're going to be wrong. $6 must be really good Listerine then, right? Like, it's value, right?
Yeah,
like $6,
absolutely.
and it's a little bottle. Like, you'd be like $6, thanks. But I value my teeth and my appearance or whatever, clearly,
Right, absolutely.
Or health, really.
So let's dive into that energy thing a little bit. I think that, anyone, if you've listened to this show, like for the last 5 minutes, you will see that Jeff has so much energy. And he seems like you only really express the side of yourself on social media that has that energy. We were talking before the show that like sometime you got to make a video where you're tired, because I don't think anyone believes that you ever get tired or ever sleep.
I have one where I'm tired. It's on my YouTube somewhere. I did do it. I'll do it again though.
Okay, yeah. But I think, we were talking about if you could share ways that you keep your energy up, whether it's the kind of things you consume or your mindset, like how does that work for you? Obviously, you're just naturally, a very energetic person.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I coach people, okay? And when I coach people, even though I don't ever want to think I'm just naturally so I can't, okay? I don't want to think that. The same amount of energy I have, someone can have. You just have it. Sometimes you don't just trigger. One of the coaches, I forget his name. Hang on, it's Tim Story's friend. People say I'm name dropping when I do. I'm trying to give credit to people. He's a short, bald guy. Michael Burt is his name. And he talks activating your prey drive. That's his like little gimmick and I don't mean gimmick, but he's a great guy. He's a great coach, right? Mm-hmm. But my whole point is, but that's kind of what it is. So basically this is it. In life, no matter what, like whatever you believe in, right? I'm a Jesus guy, but you have one shot at this thing, right? And because I lost my brother, right? Because he's 6 feet under the ground, because he's not here, how dare I be tired? How dare I not work for two people and stuff. And that's where it kind of comes in there. So yeah, do I get tired? But as soon I do three things when I get tired. And this is why it's all connected into your purpose or your why or your passion. This is how the people have energy. Ed Milet, the guy always has energy, right? Because he has rooted beliefs. He talks about it, right? He's actually someone we just, me and my brother just are doing business with, which is crazy that my life is actually Amazon Prime, Ed Milet, like all this stuff too. And now it's just like, okay, here we go. Let's just go act like you've been there, do it again. But you activate, I do three things that mean more to me. I'll listen to one motivational video that I listened to with my brother. It's called It's Up to You. And it says, with every passing moment is another chance to turn it around. So no matter what I've done, anything like that, I could turn around. I could start now, right? And it has a lot of stuff that meant a lot because I saved that on my older brother's phone. And he said, oh, I'm going to listen to that every day, Jeff, if I ever get discouraged. So I get discouraged. I'm not like superhuman. I'm human. If anything, I want to come off superhuman to people, right?
Yeah.
But super fulfilled and passionate for the purpose, right?
Right.
So that I listened to the eulogy that I spoke over my brother when I talk about the Chicago Bulls game, the Supersonics, and how my brother helped me, and how always rooting for the underdog, right? And I always put myself in the underdog position just to kind of I'll like do something to self-sabotage to make it more of a challenging. And then the third thing I do is I'll write it down again. I'll write down what it means to me. I'll write down where I'm going, why I'm doing it, and I'll write it down. Sometimes I'll say it out loud too. Those are three things that if I get tired, I will do that help me out. But it's already rooted to my why. So a lot of people I coach, I find what really their pain was in their life. Maybe they're picked on. Maybe they had anxiety at one point in life where they felt like they couldn't get out of anything, right? And they trembled at fear of even getting on an airplane or whatever it is, because there's a lot of things we all go through. And a lot of it's deep rooted. And I just did a video, if you're scared, do these three things. And I did it from my phone. I just posted it. And the reason why is because that was one of the moments when I was tired. I didn't want to go. And for me, I talked to somebody. And this is why I think therapist is very beneficial, depending on who it is. Like, I think I'd be a great therapist before someone because I'm motivating, and I can listen, man. I know I'm talking a lot.
Yeah.
On my coaching calls, everybody's like, man, we're surprised how much you listen, Jeff. That's how you learn, and that's how you drain it, and that's what people need sometimes. They need to listen, and then I analyze exactly what they say, and then I give them a solution to their problems,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I get tired too, man. I mean, but when I get tired, I go Instagram Live. I go on there. I go out. That's when it's funny because that's what gives me energy. Like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. So the whole world can see, right?
Right.
But that's why it's great to have a YouTube channel because you can only put up the videos when you're excited. I'll be laying in bed. Someone will find the live with me and Grant Cardone video. I'll be like dog tired, working 3 shifts, selling, doing the whole thing, 4 coaching sessions, right? Lying in bed, and someone will be like, wow, you have so much energy. Your video inspired me. It's like 2 a.m. I'm like, oh, wow, cool. I still got it, So
no one expects you to have that much energy at 2 a.m., Jeff, but
yeah. Well, no, dude, I have, if I didn't have this, I have on my back. My dreams keep me awake.
Yeah.
And it's true, man. Like, that's what I'm going to be wearing. I'm actually getting a custom-made shirt made. Shout out to the Big Broski. He might be locking a deal with Caleb Maddox, too. I just set them up to do his T-shirts. But yeah, dude, I know what it is. I realized that I'm alive. That's it. Great. Gary Vee said it once. You're going to die, right? Like, you're going to die.
Yep.
Do something about it. Your problems, it's perspective, man. Your problems, like, let's say, I get a lot, like, now that I've done more, I own real estate. I own a couple software programs. I have a crazy amount of taxes probably and all that stuff too, right? It's perspective, though. You know what I mean? Like there's some people who would die to be in my shoes, right? You know what I mean, in a way? And there's some people that I would die to be in their shoes. And not even in their shoes so much, not to say it that way, but like they don't have the opportunity that I have right now,
Right. Yeah. There's a quote from one of the people that I just recently interviewed and I mean, it's been a quote that's floated around forever, was people have done more with less, always. Yeah. No matter where you're at, someone has done more with less.
Right, exactly. Dude, and we have more than more. Like, I'm live here on Facebook. I'm live here on this thing too, right? Like, you can get a message out there all the time. I told my dad, I was trying to coach my dad. My dad is a great salesman, has all this stuff. People like to be, this is from my dad here, and it's probably other people like to buy, they don't like to be sold. So what would you like to buy, right? That's a sales tip, Which one do you like to buy? Instead of then saying, hey, we sold this to the guy the other day. People are like, oh, you're trying to sell me something? No, I want to buy. I want to have some, so you want to give people options, Obviously, we know that. But like that mentality, that's something that I'm still learning now,
Right. Oh, that's interesting. That's one of those things like in my business, I'm always, I feel weird about sales, but I think that I've been trying to embrace it more. So that's actually like,
So let me ask you that. Why do you feel weird about sales?
I mean, honestly, it comes from this like mindset about money that I grew up with. Like, I came from a pretty poor family. So, and there was definitely like a little bit of that. There's virtue in poverty kind of mindset.
Yeah, no, I know, dude. Trust me, I was with you there.
Yeah. So it's been a journey to kind of overcome that mindset.
Have you gone to any like seminars or Grant Cardone seminars or any of that stuff?
Not him specifically, but I've done other ones. What really changed my life in a lot of really great ways was I worked for this guy who owned like a bunch of radio stations. I started doing sales for them. I started as just like a creative, and then he was like, "You'd actually be really good at sales because you're really good at talking to people and like solving their problems." And he's like, "That's what sales actually is helping people solve their problems." And I was like, that's not what I thought sales was. So it's like, that only was a couple years ago. So it's still just unbuilding all of the thoughts that I had about what a salesperson is, what sales is, and what money is. So
yeah, that's why Cardone I do sales consulting and coaching stuff for people too. It's basically this, man. If you believe in your product so much, right, and whatever it is, your marketing product, whatever your LinkedIn product, right, and you believe it's going to help the consumer so much, then it is your responsibility to then transact and show them that, right? If you give it to them for free, they probably won't use it and they probably won't do it, right? So, and that's just, I coach people for free all the time. People will hear this. I'll say some of the same tidbits I say here, but when people pay me $3.50 an hour, they write them down and they take action on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
a good way to do it. Like people are like, oh my God, he pays this much for hours. I tell everybody, start a podcast, just ask people questions. That's the best way to get free coaching anywhere. And then as you level up and become curious, you can learn from people. Like that guy right now, the millionaire John Guy is his name. Awesome guy. He had a house with tennis courts, the whole thing. And we're trying to solve a problem. I work for a local mentor, JC Tenati. He's my main mentor right now. It's him and Grant are the two guys. I've been doing business with Lewis House too. It's helped me out a ton to scale my business.
People are you looking for, or what kind of people would be looking for you for coaching if they're interested in making more money and learning how to do that?
Yes. So mostly what I do, I guarantee everybody that you can make $2,500 extra a week. Okay, money there. I'll give you the blueprint to do that. If no matter, as long as you have, I think, 10 hours extra, right? Kind of maybe a little more, 20 hours. I can show you how to do that. That's kind of like the big tagline, right? But the reason why, but I won't coach everybody. I only coach people, they don't do drugs, and they're growth-minded, right? So a lot of people who've read a lot of books, they study a ton of stuff.
Does coffee count as a drug?
Well, no, actually, neither does energy drink. My whole point is I just don't want to make someone rich and have them go blow it on coke and strippers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched that whole lifestyle.
Yeah, I get it.
And I've done that, dude. People around me make more money. I'll give stuff in here or anything all the time. Grant Cardone has made more money because of me. Matt Buchanan has. Some people won't even admit it. They're like, oh, I'll be okay. I'm a connector. Big Brosif is might be. Do you know who Caleb Maddox is or no?
I think you introduced me. Yeah.
Yeah, young kid, wants to change the education system. Awesome thing. I used to not like him at first. Okay. By the way, good tip for any entrepreneurs or any businessmen, and this is what I learned. This is very tough. This is for me and you, Craig, especially for my brother, Josh, who's more, the creative entrepreneur has a little tougher time with this than me, but it doesn't matter. I do too, and I'm probably not being as self-aware as I say this. It's very simple to say, hire your strengths, focus on your strengths and hire your weaknesses. Very simple to say, okay?
Right.
But that's true. As soon as you realize that, do that. However, it always comes with a money problem. You need more money to hire your weaknesses, right? That's where, I come in. The one thing that this guy told me last night when I was waiting on tables at a restaurant, he goes, hey, I wish I had a karate business. He had a general karate. He's like, I wish I got more kids like you, sold them the vision, trained them so they could do more so I would have more time to do something else, because he just started doing everything himself. And so many entrepreneurs just want to do it all themselves and everything like that. Like right now, I have video editors for the Make More Money podcast. They're taking a while. I want to just get in there and edit it, but I know I'm not going to teach them anything or find someone good unless I let them do it, right? So that's the one thing I still do have a problem with it too. I might even edit a video now too. I don't do it as often, but definitely hire out your weaknesses as soon as you can, and then focus on money, man. Focus on money because of what you can do with it, not because of the money, just as the tool. There's a little Jason Capital. I did a thing. I went to the Breakthrough in New York. He did this great exercise that I do in my coaching sessions of replace the word money for tool in certain scenarios, when even me, I go back and do it so you can kind of realize it. So yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. But the client I'm working on, which is the question you had, but the perfect coaching person I would look for someone who wants to coach, someone who has something in mind and they think they can coach. I would love to coach someone who just doesn't need that encouragement and doesn't know how to do it and make money. That's the person I'm looking for. Coaches to make more money in there. And because the reason why, Craig, is once they're good, then what I'm going to do, they're going to have, I'm good at getting leads, and I have a whole software on it. Like I get too many leads, actually. It's insane, which is good online. It's not a bad thing. And I eventually, once I get systems, I'll be able to bring in more and more for my financial services business that I'm building with my brother, Changing Lives Financial. So it's going to be Changing Lives Coaching and Changing Lives Financial. And Grant told me I won't be able to build 6 figures with the coaching business. I'm pretty close right now. So it's awesome. But what I'm going to do is, let's say like I coached you, then you're in it. Then what you do, I'd set you through the curriculum that I've built up that helps a lot of people. You'd get trained on it. And then you would become a certified Changing Lives coach. So now I'll have people who work who then you don't have to go out and get your own leads. You'll get leads from us. You'll still help people. I'll get a cut of it because of the mission, but then you'll be able to help more people. And then it's no ego. Like there's people that you can help that I can't. They can't keep up with my energy. Some people need the energy pep talk as me. Then they need somebody else. So it's kind of knowing that. We're going to actually start it off when I launch in December with celebrity coaches. We're going to have some big names actually being coaching under the Changing Lives names. Some of the huge influencer names.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting, you know?
That's awesome. I like that you said that, certain people are coached better by different people. And whether that's a big thing with therapy is like, certain therapists resonate more with different people. So when people go, they have one therapist that doesn't resonate with them. They're like, therapy doesn't work. Or they have one coach and it's not a good coach. And they're like, coaching doesn't work.
Right. Exactly. That's so true.
Yeah. And you should try some different people out because my method of coaching is definitely way different than yours. I'm much more like, let's calm you down. Let's talk you off this cliff. Because usually I'm talking to people that have anxiety issues and drug issues and stuff. And it's like, okay, let's slow down. Let's relax.
And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And you need both. Absolutely. And it depends on where you're at in your life.
Like there's some people who need that they get in my funnel. I'm like, oh, like girl lost her job, this whole thing. I remember this charge for Priscilla, I forget, she got a job back now. But I was like, oh, you're not in the right, like this isn't where it is. I can still do that. Don't get me wrong. I think anybody can.
Sure.
But then that's when you become more, but it doesn't fulfill me as much. Because here's the thing. A coach focuses on your strengths, right? And focus on your strengths to make your money. A therapist focuses on your weaknesses and how to almost cope or go better with your weaknesses. And it's really kind of that simple kind of on where it is.
Yeah.
So as soon as people start talking about their weaknesses more, then I know we're kind of off track. So I know how to stay focused for that, I will say everybody has depression and everybody has anxiety. Don't think that you're special. Do people have a different level of severity? I know you have a lot of people on there. It's normal. Don't think it's not normal.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Okay? Like the name is bigger than what it is. The name is just a name that so many people just agreed on a name that it means that. That's all that it is, and it became a label. Not to say that you're not feeling dirt and stuff, but that's why, and you studied the mind, there's actually one medicine that someone took. The doctor actually put it out on a screen of how our brains only get like the dots. Sometimes it's I forget. I'm not a doctor, right? But they don't get the neurogens in it. It misses the path. So if you take a medication, it blocks it. So then it'll be able to loop it and think normally, and it won't let anything else in, which is where anxiety comes from. But so there are certain things that do help. Don't think you're so strong you can figure it all in your mind. Sometimes it's good to get a doctor's opinion, and maybe if you don't like that doctor, go to a different doctor. Like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Don't just result totally and get met up all the time, because even now. My biggest downfalls are I want to drink beer. I love beer because I think it calms me down. And what's the other thing? I'll drink an energy drink as anxiety, which makes no sense,
Yeah, absolutely. We all have our little vices and stuff, and it's a progress. And I feel like
Are you a coffee guy?
I'm trying to quit.
Yeah.
I was drinking like 5 or 6 cups a day. Now I'm down to 2 cups a day.
Right.
And I'm gonna switch it out for decaf pretty soon, which still has a little bit of caffeine in it, but it's much more.
Right.
I don't really need it. I have enough energy as long as I'm eating enough food, which is a problem for me. I have a tendency not to eat enough food. If I'm eating enough food, I'm exercising. Then I'm good. Like
so that's so true. So we're coming out with a thing called Health Over Wealth. I did it before. I sold it before it was even ready. We refined it. I'm working on it now with a guy who's SwiftFit. He's a metal thing. Basically, you eat what God made, not what man made, right? More of that. And then you do a daily workout. You commit first and do a 30-minute workout every single day. And what that does is it gives you natural energy. And then you can just drink water with lemon. And you'll notice that all the caffeine crashes that I get, and they're not even crashes, you just get reliable on fake energy is really what it is. It's still energy. It still tastes great. I love the Monster Zero Sugar things. They just make you feel so amazing, right? But my whole thing is There's nothing like health. Do health over wealth. Focus on health as soon as you can. If anybody I can say, they're like, oh, I don't know where to start, go to the gym, go on the bike for 10 minutes of cardio, do 5 minutes, and then do 5 minutes slow, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes slow, or whatever. Do like 10 minutes of that, and then do 20 minutes of one body part. Do it for 7 days. Just commit first and figure out the diet later. Everybody has different bodies, different diets. I have a diet for the health over wealth that we're going to be doing, but whatever you want, check me out on Jeff the Entrepreneur. I'll set you up with somebody.
Absolutely. Awesome, Jeff. If there's like one thing you want to leave people with, what would that be?
No, money's important, 100%. Like, I just don't think it is enough taught. We've had such a bad stigma against money. Like, my whole thing on Amazon Prime is going to be inspiring the world to make more money, all right? I think if you're a good-hearted person, like, look at Epstein, right? Not to get all, like, crazy, but that guy was a billionaire doing it all the wrong way, even George Soros. But my whole point is these are both evil guys with a ton of money, right? If you're a good-hearted person, money, they can do more, get away with some demonic, there's all this child trafficking. I just joined OUR, operated with Tim Ballard. I just joined it as a volunteer because I used to teach people. One of the girls was sex trafficked, and she told me the whole story, right? So the only way I can solve that problem is money. Like, literally, my influence can get to one, but to get more influence, to fly out to see Tim Ballard takes money. So to make change in this world, you need money. So to do that, you need to know sales, because sales then learns into money. You're solving a problem, whatever it is. Everybody's in sales. You've sold yourself on that. You deserve to be at this job, or you deserve to that, or this is your life. Someone sold that to you. It's up to you to then go out there and take control of your life and sell what you're worth. And that's what I do. I make it very easy in any coaching saw that we do. It's pretty amazing, dude. It's the thing I'm born to do. I'll never stop coaching for life. Like right now, book me now because it's getting pricier, man. The more I go, people are paying more. One person tipped me $4,000 for solving a problem, you know?
I mean, yeah, if you can make the money, then it's a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah, that's kind of it. That's why I think the latest one was Comeback Cam. Kid went from smoking weed, doing drugs. He still smokes weed, actually. I'll say that. And it's funny, he broke my stigma of like, you can still smoke weed, and it's his caffeine, right? So like, I can't really hate it as long as you're not abusing it. It's not my thing, and I've done it before. But like, my whole thing is, he got into stock trading, day trading, and everything. He's really good. I've done it. I've made money. I've lost money, but he's really good at risk management. So now, because of him, I'm gonna have him. He's my like star pupil. One of them. I have a few of them. Antoine's another one. He's a great coach. I have a lot of people that once I coach someone, they're with me for life. Like literally, like one session. Like Big Brostigiff, he does T-shirt designs, right? He wound up reaching out to me. He's gonna be on my Make More Money podcast, which is a great podcast. We have Dana White coming on, a lot of different people, but I actually have it as a business now. People pay to be on it, right? So he did a coaching session with the deal that he'd be on it once he gets his business to X amount of money. So I just set him up with a deal with one of the big influencers. So hopefully, very excited about connecting people and the opportunity to make money, you know? Like, I don't know.
I think those are your two things for sure, is like you inspire people and you connect people. And those things make you money, and it helps other people make money too. And like you said, money is important whether, we are taught that or not. It absolutely is
we'll change the teaching. That's why changinglivesfinancial.com. You go to it, book that one's a free session. I'm going for my financial certification. My brother just passed, my younger brother, Josh Lewis Growth, this morning. I'm very proud of him. We're going to probably look at retail officers. We're going to be hiring people, probably salary plus commission one day. Right now it's just commission, but it's really good to do it that way. And then maybe I'll hit you up for LinkedIn services. So many people are trying to hit me on those, and we'll have a girl run that for me. Yep, awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for joining the show, and people, you can check out all his stuff in the show notes down below.
All right. Thank you.